gentlemen, boys and girls, the world, we are excited to bring you the premiere of League of My Own, presented by Ballin' on Another Level. It's your boy P Way, joined by the lovely Jasmine. And we're here, guys, as we promised in 2024 that we were expanding and discussing so much more. And we're touching all sports now. So we're excited to bring you this show where we're going to discuss the hot weekly topics in a raw and authentic fashion, where you guys just going to hear our thoughts off the dome. And we're really excited, like I said before, to bring this to you. So without further ado, let's get it started.
All right, P-Way. So the Panthers owner, Dave Tepper, was fined $300K for tossing a drink on a fan. Now, as a member of the Panther Nation, what are your thoughts?
So, as Jasmine just noted, we are diehard Carolina Panther fans.
We are.
And I can tell you the frustration that the owner expressed, it's definitely felt in our hearts and our minds. So we definitely understand. But with that being said, you cannot be out here throwing drinks on fans. You're the owner, you're the top echelon, you're the representation of what a Carolina Panther is. And you're showing that we're frustrated. And you're showing that you're frustrated. And we need you as a leader to stay strong and show us that you're going to get us out the situation, that you're going to figure a way to improve this team, especially because you're an owner that's very involved, Dave Tepper, and you're the one who put us in this situation. You gave away Christian McCaffrey. You gave away DJ Moore. You completely stripped our whole offense, gave away our first overall pick, which will now be used to the Bears this year to probably get Marvin Harrison Jr. And you picked Bryce Young. Now, I'm not putting this on Bryce Young, but what I'm saying is you didn't put the weapons around him. You didn't give him an offensive line. You did nothing but really strip this team of all of its assets, which is crazy as a owner, a billionaire. You know the importance of assets and liabilities. And all you did was make us a liability. Like I put that. All you did was make us a liability. And I'm not a fan of you right now. So you're going to pay your $300K. You're going to pay your fine. And what you're going to do is get yourself a case of Act Right. We're going to need you to really, really understand that you put us in this situation, so you have no business acting like this in public. You need to get us out this situation. Do you have any words you want to add to this?
I mean, as an owner, he's definitely got to carry himself differently. A little more dignity and respect, of course. But he's got to listen to the fans. I mean, they're only speaking the truth.
We're the worst team in the league.
We are.
We are speaking the truth. We need better.
All right, so next up, we have the NFL released the 2024 Pro Bowl roster. Who did they get right, and who do you think was snubbed?
So I just reviewed this list before we started the show, and first and foremost, I want to say they did a pretty good job. There are some key notes, though, on players who were snubbed that I'm going to get into. I think for the quarterbacks, they did very well. Brock Purdy especially has to be in there. He's the best manager in the game. Dak Prescott, he's had a solid year. I know he gets a lot of flack, but he's played actually very solid. Lamar Jackson, of course, he's the MVP front runner, especially as of late. He's really has done a great job. So at the quarterback position, they've done well. Defensively, I looked around the lead, and Jalen Ramsey, I forgot the corner's name, from the Browns, and the Bears, he got in. So Sauce Gardner, he got in. I like that they put players like that, because Sauce Gardner is not getting a lot of attention his way, but it just shows that he's locking down. So, he's in it. For me, the snubs that stood out in which the NFL has to do better. So for people that don't know, the NFL basically combines the fans' votes, the players' votes, and coaches all in a different, formula. And this dictates how many votes each player gets. And I'm just not understanding how a player like DJ Moore is left off for what he's doing in Chicago. 1,300 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. He's producing with a team that's not that good, but he's doing his thing. And, they got to do a better job. Winfield for the Buccaneers. I mean, he's just everywhere defensively. How is he not? He has forced fumbles, interceptions, tackles for loss. Like, he does everything for them. He should be in the Pro Bowl. Derek Brown for the Panthers. He has 3 more tackles to get this next week, and he will have the most tackles by a defensive tackle ever in a single season. How is he not in the Pro Bowl? I know we suck as the Panthers, but we got to do a better job of putting the right players in the Pro Bowl based off their effort and not based off popularity, because we know that's what it is. So I think for this season they did right. I think a big note was Josh Allen being left off, which I think was a step in the right direction. He wasn't that impressive this year, and I like that they're getting a little bit better with holding people accountable. So I'm a big fan of the list this year.
All right, now we all saw the Cowboys win a controversial victory against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
There have been reports of billboards being cited with the words Decker reported in Metro Detroit. Do you agree with the Lions fans on this one?
All right, Lions fans. Guys, I'm wholeheartedly with you guys. When I was watching that play unfold and they released the video and they showed that Decker reported, I had mixed feelings, because I also did see that they could have threw a flag based off the formation. But they didn't. They threw the wrong call, and they made the play ineligible and said that Decker didn't report it. When the video shows, he clearly reported. He's not going to the refs to ask him, how's your day going? Or he's not going there to say what's up to him. No, he reported. And I just think that the Cowboys do what the Cowboys do. They skate by sometimes, and they get these wins. But we're going to see come playoff time in Cowboy fashion when they lose week 1. That's just what they do. But, back to the topic, I was not a fan of the way the NFL addressed this situation. They came out with a report and discussed the importance of players reporting to the ref as almost to, hold the players accountable. But they did not address holding the refs accountable. The player didn't mess up. This has nothing to do with the players. This has all to do with the refs, that he failed to do his job. And they're going to, I believe they put out that the staff will not be able to ref any playoffs. I think that is the right decision. But I want to make sure that these guys, are being held accountable by reviewing the tape, having these referee maybe seminars or classes, and really, really improving the game, because this is week in and week out. We see terrible PI calls, terrible holding calls, terrible flagrant calls and stuff like that, or unnecessary roughness calls that are not unnecessary roughness. So this is stuff that's week in and week out that needs to be improved. And I'm not saying that they need to start checking the pockets with the refs, but I'm just saying that they need to be held accountable as much as the players, because they ultimately decide games, and it can mess the viewership up. So they need to address the situation. Another note, nobody wants to see a game decided by the refs. In no sports, we want the game decided by the players only. No one wants to see a game decided by the refs. So the NFL is going to have to pay some attention to this.
That's right. Now, do you think that the Baltimore Ravens are the clear favorite to win the Super Bowl after clinching the AFC #1 seed?
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, by far. The Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now. I mean, you look at what Lamar Jackson is doing. You look at the offense. They did it right. They put the right pieces around them. They added OBJ. They took that risk coming off an injury. They drafted Flowers, a rookie phenom who's perfect, for Lamar. They lost Mark Andrews early this year, but I forget the other tight end's name, but he has stepped up for them as well. And they are the epitome of how to win Super Bowls in the NFL, and that's by having a great defense. The Ravens have a great defense, and this does a couple things. One, it reduces points. It keeps their offense, allows them to sustain their leads. And I just really, really am a fan of the Ravens this year, and I like what they're doing. They're the clear favorite, especially with the Eagles, dropping the ball this year. And I saw it coming. People have to start watching the game, as it is. The Eagles been luckily winning all year, or winning by, minimal points versus sub-average teams. So we saw this coming, and now they're slipping and really just being exposed. The Cowboys, you guys are skating by like usual. And I'm not trying to hate on y'all. I'm just saying this is what y'all do. Y'all are the regular season champs every year. The regular season champs. You're gonna do well, but watch when 2 weeks or weeks from now in the playoffs, where we're gonna be sitting right here discussing the Cowboys, losing in the playoffs. 49ers, I like what they're doing, but Brock needs to get sharp at the right time. He's kind of been declining, over the last couple of weeks, so he has to continue to get better. But yeah, so the clear favorite is definitely the Ravens for me.
Well, what teams would you rank the top 5 from 1 to 5?
Top 5 for me right now, I would definitely go with 1, the Ravens.
Yeah, clearly.
2, the 49ers. Now, my new entry into the top 5, which, I don't know if a lot of people agree, but the Cleveland Browns. Once again, their defense is stacked, they're legit, and Joe Flacco is back. I don't know what retirement did for him, but he is leading that team. And you got to remember, I saw a post that was talking about this. Joe Flacco used to play against Ray Lewis and Ed Reed every day in practice. They go against the prime-time Pittsburgh Steelers 2 times every single year. So he has a lot of experience under his belt. So I like what he's doing for Cleveland. Then I'll probably go, this is a toss-up. I think I'll go Detroit right now. I'll go Detroit. I still like what they're doing. They should have won that last game versus the Cowboys. So I'll go Detroit. And my 5th place team, you know what? This is going to sound crazy, but I'll still go with the Chiefs. I just can't get away from, what the Chiefs have done. And to be honest, as long as they have 15 back there, they got a chance. He can flip it on and become, get real hot in the next couple of weeks. So, you never know with the Chiefs. So that's how I rank them.
All right. You mentioned a lot of star players, but who do you think is the MVP?
So the MVP right now is definitely Lamar Jackson. It's definitely Lamar Jackson, especially what he did with the 5 touchdowns last week. He just sealed his position. The team is productive. They have the record. I do like what Christian McCaffrey is doing. I mean, as a running back, he's killing it as well. I think he has like 21 touchdowns, which is ridiculous. Of course, over 1,000 yards rushing. I don't know how many passing, but I'm pretty sure it's up north of 600, 700 or something like that. So he's doing a lot for that team as well. And I think, I wouldn't be too mad if Christian McCaffrey won it. But other than that, I don't want to hear nobody else. And I especially better not hear no Dak Prescott. Don't do that. I mean, he's doing good. He's having a good year, a solid year, but he's not in the MVP conversation.
Gotcha. All right, now moving on to some college football. Georgia destroys Florida State 63-3. What happened to the Seminoles? What happened?
You know, Florida State, the Seminoles. Number one, you should have recruited Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, out of Jackson State. You guys have an opportunity. He played at Florida State. He would have loved to have been there. All you had to do was show him the money, no pun intended, and add him to the staff. So you're cursed. All right. 2. People don't know this, but Florida State actually, sat out a lot of their star players, more than Georgia did. So I will say, if you look at it, they were most likely going to lose the game. But 63-3, you guys just validated the decision that the committee made to not put you guys in the playoffs. They saw that you guys lost your quarterback, and they knew that you guys wouldn't be able to produce. So they wanted to put the best product on the field. And they knew that you guys wouldn't deliver. And had you made this a game, it would have been a debate. But you guys lost 63-3. You did nothing but made the committee look like geniuses. Straight geniuses. So that's what happened with the Seminoles. They didn't play most of their players, which is cool, but 63-3, that's a no-go in any sport, in any professional sport. That's just not, how the game, is supposed to be played. So
I saw that Michigan beats Alabama 27-20 in overtime. There are a lot of people who disagree with the last play call by Alabama. What are your thoughts?
Man, what a game. What a game. That was a beautiful game. I enjoy games like that, highly competitive. The offensive had their different moments of struggling. And I just think that, Michigan just turned it on at the right time. They stuck to the run game, and they just found a way to win. Alabama, man, that last play call, you run a QB, that was like a QB sneak from the 4 or 3 yard line. That play call goes up there with, I want to say, the Seattle Seahawks when they threw the pass in the Super Bowl. I think it was that bad. It was just a horrible play call for your last play of the game. Like, you have one more play, and this is it. And you just do a quarterback sneak. And it wasn't even the quarterback sneak. It was the way you guys did it. Like, he just ran straight. They didn't even try to give him max protection or max blockers. They were outnumbered. It was just a horrible setup, a horrible play. And I liked what Nick Saban did after the game. He pretty much said that I wish I put the team in a better position. And I love hearing coaches hold themselves accountable, because sometimes it's not the players. Even though they're on the field, and yes, we know that they can always do more, we need these coaches to step up and say, I put them in the worst position. I'm a man up to that. It was my fault. Which he's won, X amount of national championships, so it's not going to hurt him at all. But just to hear him say it and come out to the world and be honest and say that, nothing but respect from my end. But I'm going to get back to you, Florida State players. So I don't know if you heard or not, but Florida State, they were upset with Alabama because Alabama made the playoffs and they felt that they should have made it instead of Alabama. So they had the nerve to tweet after the game and make comments about Alabama. Guys, this is not the time for y'all to say nothing. Y'all just lost 63-3. 63-3. You have zero right to make any comment about football for the rest of the season. You guys need to focus on your next year. You know, the guys that are transferring, you know, recovering, recruiting. Don't make any comment about the playoffs this year. You're out of it. You're not qualified. You're not eligible to discuss the playoffs, to make comments about teams. You lost 63-3.
That's devastating.
Don't tweet nothing. Don't like nothing. Don't comment on anything. Just let it go and do better. I was very disappointed in the officials' comments. And it makes me think about players these days. Like, what are you thinking that you can even, like, what are you thinking that you had the right to say anything? You guys lost 63-3. That tells you to be quiet. So I just don't get it. Just don't get it.
All right, and then we have Washington here. Michael Penix Jr. throws for 430 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading Washington to a 37-31 lead over Texas.
Listen, Michael Penix Jr., you know, when Desmond Howard went on national TV, he said,
"Don't do it."
He's going to give the world the big Penix energy. I'm not going to say I felt that because, you know, we obviously going to say, you know, not going to say that. But what I'm going to say is this dude played a game. I mean a game. I'm trying to think the last time I seen a quarterback look that well in college. I think Pat Mahomes had a couple games. He looked like that. Joe Burrow. But look at the field I'm putting him in, you know. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson. Like, that's the type of play he displayed, you know, in that game. And, I mean, they clearly beat Texas. It wasn't a close game for people who saw it. They were up the whole game. The only reason why it got close at the end because their player got hurt, in which they could have just ran the ball and, you know, ran the timeout, but the injury caused them to stop the time. So it wasn't a close game. Washington clearly won, and I'm just a big fan of the quarterback right now. They have the best receiver as well. So, you know, I personally think that they are going to win the national championship. I think they're going to beat Michigan. I like Michigan better defensively, but in college, unlike the NFL, I tend to go with the more defensive team in the NFL. In college, I tend to go with the better offensive team. And I think Penn is going to show up and really expose that Michigan secondary, and it's going to get ugly. So that's just how I see it. Shout out to Michael Penix, man. He's doing nothing. His draft stock is increasing significantly. And I mean, like, there's some talks going around about him going number 1, which, you know, a couple weeks ago, that would have been blasphemy. So shout out to him.
Our last topic, John Morant dunks over Wembanyama in Tuesday night's victory over the Spurs. What shocks you most about this play?
Man, the fact that Wemby is 7'5", 6". What is he? Something crazy.
Huge.
And John Morant, you know, we knew John Morant was going to come back strong. You know, I think he learned, hopefully, he learned from his off-the-court issues and him wanting to be the biggest gangster ever. I don't understand why, but hopefully he's learned from that. And I love, you know, what he brings to the game. Let's just, you know, let's just keep it frank. He reminds me of, I'm going to go ahead and say this. He reminds me of Allen Iverson back in the day. He brings that type of excitement to the game, and that means a lot from us, especially us being from the 757, you know, where AI is from as well. So, you know, we hold that to a high regard. And John Morant is just incredible. The Grizzlies, you see, they're playing much better basketball with him, which is expected. He's an all-star. And And it's one of those things with him, like, man, he's incredible. Like, you almost saw it coming. When he had Wemby one-on-one, usually, some players may pass the ball away, but in his mind, he was like, I'm going to go dunk on him. Like, you can just see it in him. He was like, I'm going to go try this. Like, I have to go try it. And it's just that fire, that competitiveness that, I really enjoy in watching John Morant. He plays with that fire. But don't get me wrong, I think Wemby, in the future, as he continues to grow in this league, he's not going to allow that situation to really happen like that, many times. But, he plays, well, Wemby plays every position, but, him being most likely in the lane a lot of times, he's going to get caught every now and then. That's just what happens. But I do think that, like I said, Ja is incredible. It's just the audacity to even try that, especially the way he did. Like, it was just one-on-one. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I really enjoyed Ja Morant's game.
It was a bold move, but he executed it well.
He did.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and that's it for today.
So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of League of My Own. We have another episode coming to you guys soon. And this is, an exciting time in sports. We have the NBA heating up, college football recruiting and stuff like that heating up, the national championship coming. It's just so much more. And I'm even hearing that Mayweather versus Pacquiao, there's a rematch going on. I don't know what them old guys is doing getting in the ring again. But hey, money talks. So this is your boy P-Way and Jazz. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. And see you guys shortly.